Hi everybody, welcome to Shivers. Today we are celebrating the 3-year anniversary of Shivers, which was last week, May 13th. So just want to talk about kind of where we have been, what got us started, and where we're going from here. So every year I've been hosting this history of horror presentation. It sums up a lot of my thoughts and opinions on the ties between the supernatural, paranormal, spiritual, and horror and concerts and all of the above. That is really more about my feelings on why I started all of this in the first place. But, from a more practical perspective, I started Shivers just simply because I wanted other people to watch scary movies with, to have events with, to go to concerts with. And I really couldn't find a whole lot of things that were already out there. I've mentioned before that I used to be afraid of absolutely everything. And so being able to really dive into the world of horror and the unknown, it's this idea of getting out of your comfort zone and really trying to figure out who you are. Thinking about everything that you're doing, thinking about all the ways that you act, and just peeling back the layers of saying, why do I do this? Why do I believe in this? Is this even real? You even think about fear in general. And I really refuse to get political in any of my events or my posts, but even thinking about the state of the world, like people get really freaked out about what's going on. And it's this idea of how much of your own personal power are you giving away? There are certainly things that are outside of your control for sure, but watching scary movies and going to these events and really immersing yourself in some of this almost like immersion therapy is going to be what helps you figure out what are my triggers, what is the thing that really bothers me, that gets under my skin, and then again, peel it back. Why does it bother you so much? Why is that some area of concern? And being able to work with people one-on-one or even in events and having these types of conversations has just been so incredibly rewarding, not only for them and being able to almost awaken a little bit, but also for me. It's somebody who used to be so scared of everything, and peeling back those layers of why and figuring out that there really is no root, then you get to change it. So I'm always a proponent of digging into more of that side of yourself and using the tools that are around you to kind of be the best version of yourself. And I know I talk a lot about spirituality, and I know that it gets a little tiring, but it really doesn't come from a belief perspective. It just comes from the idea that we're all here just trying to be the best version of ourselves that we can be. And if watching scary movies and going to concerts is going to make you feel connected to other people and not so alone, why the hell not? Why not? I have gone to Warped Tour for every single year for 10 years. I have loved Warped Tour. I love concerts. If I could go to a concert every day, I would be so incredibly happy. I would be the best roadie ever. And I have found so many people who believe in the same sort of things that I do, that love horror movies as much as I do, that love Halloween, and also love these types of concerts and events. And so this is also kind of promoting that idea that like we're not alone either. So being able to do a lot of these things from really the root of what I was doing anyway and building it into a business has just been so incredible. Furthering that into some of the paranormal, I think from my own perspective of being somebody who is a little bit more intuitive, I've been able to grow some of that side of things by working with my mom and at her shop and doing readings and things like that. And being able to go to some of these really spooky, scary locations, it makes them less scary too. Again, you're not giving your power away to something that doesn't even exist anymore. So I think that Shivers in general will continue to do paranormal investigations, which we have done before. I do personal paranormal investigations as well at people's houses, but doing that overnight thing like Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunters, it's a lot more boring than what it seems. You're just kind of walking around playing with the equipment, hoping that something happens, playing rock, paper, scissors when you're bored. So it's not as amazing as people make it sound. So I do think that will be pulled back a little bit, but we'll definitely still continue to do that. One of the other things that has been a bit of a constant is these murder mystery stories. So I just wanted to do more of a unique event. I also wanted to prove to myself that I could write one of these murder mystery stories. And as of now, we are on story 7. So I'm really grateful that it's become something that people really look forward to. But it also proves to me that the root of Shivers, which I thought was, horror and history and all of those, it has changed and evolved a little bit, which has become really exciting to watch and facilitate basically. But the root of Shivers now is just storytelling. It's what is your personal story? What is my story? What is the story of this movie? What is the story of this murder mystery? What is the story of this historic location? We're taking away the spooky, the intangible, the frightening, the intimidating, and just saying, what's the story? It's the same thing in just having one-on-one conversation with people. I might have said it before, but I am very impatient when it comes to small talk. I don't really have a whole lot of tolerance for it. I don't care about the weather. I care about what makes you tick. I care about what you care about. I care about what makes you passionate, what makes you alive, and I really hope that I can continue to inspire that out of people. But in saying that, a lot of these events as well, it's about, again, becoming the best version of yourself and just showing up in the best way that you can. And if that means doing shadow work, if that means getting a reading, if that means just exploring an abandoned location, something that's out of your comfort zone that you never thought you'd be able to do, I hope that Shivers can still be forever that type of outlet for people. What I hope for more than anything is just that Shivers becomes a home of not only the strange and unusual, but the curious, the people who are interested in the unknown and just need a little help kind of going through it. So yeah, I mean, all of that to be said, I think really Shivers started as something that was fun and just me wanting to share my interests and connect with people who had similar interests. It then turned into being able to do readings and more group events and paranormal investigations and things like that. And now we're growing into something bigger than what I had hoped for, but what I'm really happy to see it turning into, this storytelling East Coast traveling company. We're doing more events in the Northeast now and bringing some of those murder mysteries up north, doing a lot of vendor shows up north as well. And being able to do this full time, I've really been grateful for all of you who have supported me along the way, and for the people who get introduced to this world that I can say, oh, let me teach you, let me welcome you in with completely open arms. I think life's too short to not tell people how you feel and to not tell yourself how you feel. Everything that you do in terms of self-awareness, social awareness, whatever, everything you do, just start asking yourself that question of why. Why am I doing this? Why do I believe in this? Why is this preventing me from growing, etc., etc. And then, the people who are along your way who inspire you or help you or hurt you, tell people how you feel with an air of common sense. So yeah, I know this was a bit rambling, but it really boils down to the fact that over these past 3 years, I've really been very grateful to build the collective that I've been talking about. Those concert goers, those movie goers, the people who love all of this spooky stuff. Not only then celebrating it at Halloween and in October, but all year round, knowing that this is not just a seasonal hobby. This is a life, and this is the best life. It's exploring the unknown, getting out of the comfort zone, trying new things, and really polishing what is your story. So really what you can expect for the next 3 years. I hope that we can continue expanding our actual footprint. I'd love to have the entire East Coast covered with events. Many of you know I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina. I hope to do more spooky stuff, probably a little further north, but keeping things a little bit more central to Raleigh still, and seeing kind of where things go and grow from there. I'm always open to ideas for events. I'm always open to ideas for places that you want to go. So if there's somewhere that you want to experience or somewhere that has a minimum group amount, I'm certainly open to exploring that as an opportunity. We do a monthly book club as well. I have written a book called Burn Her Down. Book 2, I'm hoping, is coming this summer. I've been a little bit behind with that, if I'm being honest. And yeah, you know, again, just finding the root of that storytelling is what I'm very passionate about, and I'm very excited to see continue to grow. So thank you for your support for these past 3 years. I hope that you continue to support Shivers for the next three, in all the ways that we are growing and going and physically going. And yeah, all of the events are always posted 1 month at a time on the Shivers meetup page. It's meetup.com/shivershaunted. Um, a lot of our shared events have been at Solely Holistic. That is in Raleigh, but again, you know, we're going to go to a couple new locations as well. If you want a party, if you want to have a party for you and your friends or your family, we can do murder mystery parties. We can do tarot readings. I've done both for parties as well, and that's always really fun. You know, you get to kind of compare all your findings and things with your friends. So yeah, all of those options are really out there. There is a Shivers website. It's shivershaunted.com. It has all of the actual appointments that you can make and the upcoming events for the month that are up there as well. And you can always reach out to me, shivershaunted@gmail.com. I am pretty easy to find. I am always on my phone. And yeah, I want to help as many people as I can. I always say that I am eternally destined to be Santa's helper. You know, I am here to help. And I just hope that that comes through in all the ways that are comfort zone pushing and exploratory and adventurous. So, thank you for listening to me ramble about all of these things that I love for the last 15 minutes. And I will hope to see you at some of these events. If not, thank you for your support, and I will see you next week.